Hello mixtresses and mixters, this is mixtressrae. You're watching Mixtress video. So I'm going to do a pick a pile reading. We are going to focus on Durga, which I'm just now realizing I'm gonna have to stand up and get my other deck. I just like pressed record, set up a weird shot, pressed record. And so now I'm gonna find Durga, because the idea of this pick a pile reading is that we're going to summon the strength of Durga today. Setting boundaries, strength card, realness, all that good stuff. I'm just gonna prop her up over here so you can kind of see her. She's okay. Yeah, you can see her. Okay. Sorry for the weird angle, guys. I just wanted to do something slightly different. Let's see. So, pick a pile. How are we going to pick? Yep, should have had this set up. I think we're going to pick based on what you want to get out of, you know, kind of building up your strength, healing from trauma, learning to fight your own battles and set better boundaries. How do you want to go through with that? Do you want to do it by just a general cleansing? So selenite will be pile 1. You really just want to clear it out. If you just really want to clear it out, that will be pile 1. If you would like to ground yourself in your body, in your strength, that will be pile 2, the black tourmaline. And then pile 3 will be if you want to gain some insight into what you're dealing with, the trauma that you're dealing with. So that's pile 3. So clear it, ground yourself, clarity. Yes. Okay, that's what we're doing. Okay. Pile 1. I'll just set it right here to make it less confusing. You want to clear it out. Okay. So we're talking about healing from trauma, strength, setting better boundaries, getting shit. We want to clear it out. You want to clear it. So how do we do that? Just really put it behind us. So I'm thinking this is going to be kind of a, just because it happened to be this way, happened to be 5 cards, I'm going to do it as a as above, so below, past, present, future spread. Okay. So, how the trauma was representing itself in the past. So this pretty much tells me that the trauma that you have gone through has been relationship based. And this person was probably like an actual soulmate for you at one time. Maybe this person is not a soulmate for you any longer, but was at one time. Presently, you're more in the realm of family shit, lineage shit, taking care of family members. And it may even be that the person here left you with a family to take care of. future, 8 of Swords. Below the moon. How perfect is that? The moon card being the like shadow work card, because it is the shadow work card, right? And then 3 of Wands as the as above. So that is the message from your ghost guides and goddesses as kind of the as above, the 3 of Wands. So how do you clear it? It looks like right now you are making things more complicated for yourself. Right now, since you are headed towards this 8 of Swords, and your advice from your ghost guides and goddesses is the 3 of Wands, that tells me that it's time to step through. It's time to step through. It's time to look towards the future. Your instinct to want to just clear this trauma away and pretend it never happened is not possible. You wanting to do that is what's leading you towards this 8 of Swords moment. You might not totally be there yet, but you are getting into a very rigid way of thinking, and it may even be a lineage-based rigid way of thinking. It may be a way that people in your family or your ancestors, it may be that you are in a cycle right now that started long before you got here, but has something to do with relationship trauma. Not only relationship trauma that you've dealt with before, but that your mother, your grandmother, your great-grandmother have dealt with before. You are going down that path where you're going to be just as mentally trapped as they were if you keep going the way that you are. And this is sort of the practical advice card. And the practical advice is that it's time to dig into those depths. It's time to uncover those shadows under the rocks in your psyche. It's time to work that out so that you won't end up in this space, because this is where you're headed right now. You want to just clear it out and pretend it never happened, but you can't do that. So how do we need like kind of a I'm going to use Morgan's Tarot as sort of like extra oracle advice here. How can we use the power and strength of Durga to help you, since clearing it out is not actually going to be possible like you were hoping? Clearing it out and wanting to clear it out is what, clear it out and forget about it. There's like, you just want to forget about it. Okay, that's a lot of advice. I think like 10 cards just jumped out. All right, I'm just gonna pick them all up and shuffle amongst those, because there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, exactly 10. So what is the advice? The advice is power. I am going to look this up in the guidebook, even though that's a big no-no. Whatever. It's an oracle deck I don't know completely well yet, so whatever. Okay. Power. So this is your sort of advice on how to move forward and start looking towards your future and stop trapping yourself in these old belief systems. Power is the ability to manifest intentions. Attaining power is relatively easy, but the side effects and consequences of using it are incredibly dangerous. Acquiring knowledge is usually a more beneficial endeavor for the individual. So this almost tells me that whatever, whoever, betrayed you in the past, or whatever terrible relationship trauma from the past is still showing up for you, I'm getting that you probably want to exert power over that person. You want to hurt them the way that they hurt you. You may even want to, if you have kids together, you may even want to take it out on that person by trying to take full custody of the kids. Of course, there could be lots of different situations here. Like if it is a situation where your kids are genuinely not going to be safe with that person, then don't let them have any custody. But in the scenario of if you are choosing to try to withhold your children from your ex because you want to get back at them, and only because you want to get back at them, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't, especially if you are coming from, like, you have gone through a divorce and you have kids and you also grew up with divorced parents. Make sure that you don't repeat the mistakes that your parents made. The things that even as a child you knew, oh, dad's being petty right now. I can see that. Don't do that. You know, put the kids first. Be as amiable as you can be. Amiable, amenable, whatever, cooperative with your ex as you possibly can be. So that you don't end up in this pattern of just like, this is somebody who's willfully not looking at their lives. They've just decided that they're a victim and they're not looking at their life. Don't try to get revenge on the ex. Don't try to exert power over the ex. All of this stuff is just going to keep you in these trapped mental patterns. It's time to step through the portal. It's time to step through the doorway into the other side. It's time to look towards the future. You are too fixated on this. And you have a real opportunity for healing right now and regrouping. You may have even moved back in with some other family members after this relationship ended. And it's an opportunity for some kind of healing. Even if it's not the perfect situation for you right now, even if you have a bad relationship with some of your family members, this is a place where you can stop and regroup. Or you have the opportunity to create a space from where you are now to regroup and look towards the future. Let's pull I want to pull like an alternative future card. Like if you do heed, you know, sort of like kind of take a moment, start looking towards the future, start planning for the future, look into like uncover some stones and things. What's an alternative reality? If you start really making better choices for yourself, what is oh wow. Yeah, so this is the other future. You have a choice right now as you're standing on the precipice. You are in a healing space right now, or you're in a space right now where you could choose to heal and look towards the future. And if you go on the path that you've been on, you're gonna be here. But if you make better choices, set better boundaries, don't make choices out of pettiness or power. If you choose a more altruistic path, then you will be master of your universe. It's coming. Okay, that is pile 1. Let's clear this away and just keep this out. Pile 2, I'm dropping things. So if you chose the tourmaline, pile 2, in order to kind of more ground yourself in your body as a way to heal from this current situation. That's what we're in right now. So I'm so there's trauma. There's trauma. Like we all have it. We all have it. So the trauma that you have been through, the strength moments that you have had to endure in your life, like what's the sort of like, how are we dealing with that right now? How can pile 2, keep saying we, how can pile 2 better kind of ground themselves? How can pile 2 ground themselves? Okay. So we're doing a like past, present, future, so that like the current trajectory that you're kind of on. So from where you sit right now, you are the Knight of Swords. You are communicating. You are, and this might not even be you. It might be that right now there's somebody swooping in to help you at this moment. And your future is the Knight of Wands. So you're going from like overthinking, overanalyzing to just going where you're just following your heart, following your ambition, following your, you know, the natural sort of passionate movement of your life. And in the past, you were here. So already like the trajectory is good here, I think. Like going from Knight of Swords to Knight of Wands means that you will be more grounded. You will be more in your body, because this is more in the mind where you are right now, and this is more grounded in the body where you will be. Sort of practical advice is how I think of this kind of like so below card. The Devil. As long as you don't fall into old habits and old scarcity mindsets, you are already on your path to being more grounded within yourself. The advice from your ghost guides and goddesses, 4 of Swords. Take that mental health day. This seems like really, really straightforward. Take that mental health day when you need it. Really like allow yourself, and again, since we're talking more about grounding, more about being in the body as part of your trauma healing process, this is just making sure this is, you know, get enough rest. Get enough rest, especially mental rest. Like, especially, you know, the fact that the Knight of Swords is here, like, you're probably like constantly trying to work things out. This pile is probably for me too, actually, because I've been getting the Devil card constantly lately, because I'm personally trying to deal with my own addictions and my own, you know, thought patterns and things. I'm trying to literally change the way that I live my life in some ways. And I have been getting Knight of Swords a lot lately as well. So I think this pile is for me. So I will just kind of talk to you a little bit about that. It is possible that right now you are making a little bit more money than you're used to making. This sort of like person that you used to define, I would not be surprised if most of the people that picked this pile have defined themselves as being poor most of their lives. And right now, they're a little less poor and they don't know what to do with that. And for me personally, my mindset is whatever money I have, I should spend it immediately. That's the Devil for me, is that I think whenever money comes into my life, it feels rare, so I think, oh shit, I need to figure out what to do with this right now. And so my particular Devil is spending all of my money. And I have, just at this moment in time, I happen to be doing okay financially. And that's not a place that I'm used to being. I'm actually very uncomfortable here. And I don't know how to do it. And my brain's going 1,000 million miles a minute. You know? Like, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do with this money? Oh my God. I just got like an Etsy payout for my tarot reading shop. And it was more than it usually is. And that is, in the past, I have thought of that particular revenue source for me as being sort of like a you know, just do whatever you want with it. Don't worry about it kind of fund. But I also don't want to acquire more things in my life. So how do I reconcile making a little bit more money with the fact that I don't actually want to acquire more things? And I also, at the same time, it seems really boring to me to just like send that money towards a credit card or some other kind of debt. I don't want to do that. It's boring. So I've constantly right now got the devil whispering in my ear. Constantly. And I myself need to get a little bit more grounded. And the way to do that, I mean, like, it's just so fucking typical, right? But is do things that you enjoy doing. Do like physical activities that you enjoy doing, especially if for you, like me right now, where I live, it is actually fucking gorgeous outside right now. It's not that hot. There's a breeze. It's not super humid like it usually is. I could literally be outside right now going for a walk. But instead, I'm sitting inside doing a tarot reading. Thinking about things that maybe I should buy or not. You know, like I've been trolling around on Amazon looking for like metaphysical books and stuff. And there are things that I want. There are things on my wish list. But sorry, I'm making this whole pile about me, but hopefully something in my story can relate to you. Hopefully you are getting something out of it. But yeah, there needs to be time spent in nature. There needs to be time reconnecting with our bodies and what we actually want out of life and our creativity and all of that stuff. So let's pick a sort of like affirmation type advice, sort of. I'm thinking that's how I'm going to be using Morgan Tarot, just in general, Morgan's Tarot Oracle deck, as sort of a practical sort of affirmation. I mean, some of the cards are like affirmations, some of them are more like divination. Some of them are just nonsensical, like fortune cookie type stuff. Okay, we got the title card, which is also, it is a card in the deck as well, but it also has the title card information. And it is called Transmutation Through Union of Opposites. And I'm going to look it up in the book. Tension, when not resisted, can be changed into positivity. Okay, just that first sentence is like, right. So where we are right now, where we feel kind of uncomfortable, we need to sit with that for a minute. Let it be uncomfortable. I personally am uncomfortable with having a little bit of money. I don't know how to live that way because I never have. And it's not even that much. It's just like not having $0 in my bank account. Like at this point in my life, I have had not $0 in my bank account pretty consistently for a couple of months now, and I do not know how to live that way. It makes me uncomfortable. Okay, a higher state can be attained by mixing different and even opposing energies. Yin and yang, positive and negative energies, can always be mingled as they are universally present. So this is kind of like, this is reminding me of Rainer, this is not probably how you're supposed to say it, but Rainer Maria Rilke. This is a quote, "Let everything happen to you, beauty and terror, just keep going. No feeling is final." So that's our advice. Just let's stay. If you resonate with pile 2, and I think I do too, so we are in this together. And I did, whenever we were first shuffling, I was saying we for this pile. So that was my first indication. Oh shit, this is probably my pile. So that's it. That's our advice. I'll kind of sit with this. Sit with this feeling right now. Let the mental reality become the physical reality. I feel like we're sort of in a place that's not entirely bad right now, but it's a place where we're uncomfortable. But it's going in a good direction. We just have to keep riding the horse until the horse slows down. I mean, not necessarily the Knight of Wands horse is not necessarily that much slower as the Knight of Swords horse. He's just like a little bit slower, you know? His hair isn't totally blown back. And it's a little dreadier because he doesn't worry about brushing it. You know what I mean? Okay. Pile 3. What was my stone for that? Oh yeah, this little amethyst. If you chose this little amethyst stone and your general thought process here on how to deal with trauma, how to integrate the strength card into your life, how to integrate Durga into your life. Who's a badass bitch. As being, you just want more clarity. You want more clarity on your situation, like what you've gone through. You want to understand what you've gone through a little bit better. So how can we work with Durga to better understand what you've been through? How can we work with Durga to better understand what you've been through? Okay. I'm going to turn this back over so that I don't accidentally like choose where I want that placement to be. Okay, because we're going to do a past, present, future, as above, so below. This will be as above. This is so below. This is past. No, that's not. Okay. So, where you are right now in respect to the traumas that you've gone to, the strength gone through, the strength moments that you have gone through or are currently going through in order to deal with that trauma. How do we get more clarity on what you've gone through? Where you are right now, you are more victorious over what you've gone through than you think you are. I get the feeling, like the thing about the Six of Wands is that it doesn't fully penetrate you, right? Like everyone else sees how far you've come, but you don't necessarily feel it. And that's valid. However, it's a good reminder to look at how far you've come. Like if you're thinking of a particular trauma in your life and not just the regular everyday trauma of living, if you are thinking of a particular trauma in your life whenever you chose this pile, try to think back as to when it first happened to you versus now. See, recognize how far you've come. Everyone else sees how far you've come. Like it's time to give yourself a little bit of that recognition too. So the clarity for you is more about seeing what everyone else sees in you. Everyone else sees how far you've come. Everyone else sees you as like somebody to look up to as far as overcoming what it is that you've overcome. It's time for you to see it in yourself as well. Your past card is the Ace of Cups. And your future is the 2. Look at that. So especially if this is a sort of like relationship situation that if you came into this reading, especially if you particularly came into this reading thinking about past relationship trauma and wondering if you will ever be in a relationship again, this is a yes, you will. Yes, you will be able to heal. Ace of Cups is an extremely healing card. It is like one of the main keywords for me is healing for Ace of Cups. And particularly healing of the heart, healing of the emotions, healing of love. So this is a path that you've been on. because this is the past, this is the present, this is the future. So you're in the past, you started to heal. Now you have healed a lot more than you think. I mean, I'm sure there's even more healing to do. And in the future, you will make a connection with another person that has healed that part of themselves as well. Your message from your ghost guides and goddesses. This is just another, like, again, we see the wreath, the world. Your message from your ghost guides and goddesses, or your own inner knowing, however you view that type of like all-knowing energy. The clarity is that you have reached the end of this road. You actually, if you feel like you're not fully healed from the trauma, and I'm guessing that that's the only reason why we're getting all of these in the world. Ace of Cups, Two of Cups, Six of Wands. It's just to let you know that the clarity that you seek here is that you actually have healed as much as you possibly can at this time. If you feel like you're broken, you're not. This is unequivocally, like, undeniably, you are not broken. You are whole. The last pile also got the Devil in this exact same position. So this, in your case, I think is just, I feel like these are sort of like the two paths that you could take. And this, I'm kind of like, when it comes to this particular 5-card spread that I do a lot, I'm pretty loosey-goosey as far as like what this card means. It's usually, this position in the spread, I usually just pick what it means based on what the other cards are telling me. So in this case, I think that this is sort of like a shadow card. This is sort of like the dark path that you could go down. This is sort of like, and it's another, like, one way of interpreting the Devil is that the Devil only shows up when you're doing really well. The Devil only shows up to kind of whisper in your ear when you're in a good place, because the Devil wants you back on the dark side. The Devil wants you to, you know, give in to all of the temptations and the bad habits that you've done before. The Devil doesn't like all of that. The Devil wants you to remain chained. But you're doing great. You're doing great. I really think so. You're doing better than you think you are. Your healing has come a long way, and you are ready for that next phase of your life. And if that next phase involves another person, a partnership with another person, like, my readings hardly ever go to the love space, but they've gone there in like 2 of these piles, which is so weird. Like, I hardly ever, I'm like, yeah, you're going to get in a good relationship soon. Like, I just don't usually read that way. And this could even be like a situation where you have recognized that you are whole within yourself. Or this could even be like a very close friendship, you know, somebody that you would consider a soulmate, but is not a romantic connection. Whatever this is, whatever the trauma in particular for you was, that very specific relationship, whether that trauma is between you and a parent, you and a romantic partner, you and in a friendship, whatever that is, it's going to heal. Either you're going to sort of choose for yourself a different person that kind of fulfills the role of the person that you have the trauma with. I think in particular, it's a specific person that caused you trauma in this pile. Again, it's, you know, like these pick-a-pile readings always are, they're for a lot of different people, so it's a lot of different situations that we need to cover here. But you know what that means for you, is what I'm saying. Let's get kind of and I think it's going to be kind of specific to your situation. So if the trauma in your life was with a family member, like a mom or a dad, I think there's going to be someone else in your life that's going to fulfill that role. That's what this future card is. Someone else in your life. Or you're healing your relationship with that person specifically. For some of you, it's that. And for some of you, it's you're going to be able to heal your relationship to mother energy in general by finding someone in your life that kind of fills that space for you. Okay, so your card from Morgan's Tarot is, I think I'll make a Buddha. So I am going to read the guidebook definition, but the way that I kind of see this card is, you know, Buddha is an idea. It is being enlightened, being whole within yourself, realizing that you are complete as you are. So it's reinforcing everything that's here. You are complete as you are right now, so that when you, particularly for people that are going to be entering into a new romantic relationship, if you can recognize in the here and now that you are complete as you are, once you meet this person, it won't be like you're expecting them to complete you. It will be just two complete people having a relationship together and enriching each other's lives, you know, because the thing about the Two of Cups is they are seeing eye to eye. They are equal in the relationship. It's the best love card there is in the tarot, right? Even if it turns out to be self-love in your case. But I am going to read the guidebook definition for what this says. It is card number 8. The inspiration for this card was a 3-year-old child's response to a question about what he would like to model out of the clay he had been given. I think I'll make a Buddha. Right? Okay. You are complete within yourself. You have healed a lot more than you think you have. You are not broken. Keep going where you're going and ignore the devil whispering in your ear, and you're all good. All right. I hope that was helpful. I will see you guys in the next one.